Well, this was an unexpected early birthday surprise I was not wanting to get this year. Hello everyone, this is Diesel202 here, and today I'm doing a video I wasn't expecting to make in a couple months or so. So a few hours ago, at the time of writing this down, Mattel released the first teaser trailer for their reboot of Thomas & Friends, and almost immediately, many fans are outraged at what they saw. I'm not going to show everything in the trailer because 1, it's trash, and 2, I don't want to risk getting copyrighted, so I'll leave the link to the trailer in the description. But be warned, you might be eternally scarred by what you're about to witness. So, what do I think of the reboot? Honestly, there are elements in it that both work and don't work at the same time, but there's far more things in it that don't work at all. I like the animation a lot, and it's nice that they gave the characters colored eyes for once, but the fact that this is supposed to be the actual Thomas & Friends show doesn't really sell it for me. They also completely changed Thomas's voice to make him sound like a little kid, which in my opinion is stupid. Like, why? Why would they need to change the voices of beloved characters to something much worse? There are many arguments that the UK and US dubs of the original show are worse than the other, and I'm not saying that child voices aren't good at all, but you cannot deny that downgrading the voice to something that isn't even remotely intended to sound like the character you thought of is a very questionable decision by the people responsible for what you're watching. As for the new characters, they look okay. Not good, not bad, just okay. Kana is the one new character that so far intrigues me the most, as she's got that feisty, determined look in her eyes that makes me think, I wonder what I can do with her for my own series. But we'll get to that later. Sandy, who is a rail speeder, looks pretty cute, I won't deny, but on the other hand, there's so much better that she deserves, and I intend to give it to her no matter what. As for Darcy being a rail crane now, no. Just no. I want to believe that this isn't Darcy, and it's a completely different crane engine that just so happens to look like her, but at the same time, it's really hard for me to believe otherwise. This, at the very least, I will not be using in my Thomas headcanon. I can assure you of that. And then there's this hideous thing. This right here? This is the face of someone that will kill you in your sleep. Now we come to my next complaint. Remember when I spoke about Kana? Well, I had a lot of thoughts about how I could incorporate her in my series. Some of them really good. Maybe she could have been a new engine who was meant to replace Pip and Emma if they ever chose to retire from regular services, like how they did with Gordon in the Railway series. So many possibilities about what she could do were running through my head. And then this popped up in my Twitter feed. Did Mattel just seriously steal an OC from a fellow Thomas fan to make their own character for their own show? I don't even have the words to describe it. This is plagiarism at its finest, and it goes to show just how much Mattel really cares about the fans and what they do. Apparently, according to the fan who created this character, her OC's name is Kohana, which in my opinion is a much better sounding name than what was chosen for the reboot, and to my knowledge, there is action that will be taken for what has been done to her beloved character. At the time of this writing, there isn't any lawsuits or legal cases of any kind being filed yet, because she's in no position to do so yet. But she is doing something about it, so that's reassuring to me at least. Regardless, this whole thing makes me feel very cautious about using Kana in my stories, because I don't want to do her even more harm than Mattel has caused her by using a plagiarized variant of something she made long ago. And the fact that this was drawn in 2017, 3 years before the reboot was unveiled, doesn't help matters in the long run. And finally, the art style they chose for the show itself. Now, let me make this abundantly clear. There is nothing wrong with taking Thomas to 2D animation. It is very possible to translate Thomas & Friends in a 2D animation style and make it work. This doesn't. I don't like the art style they chose for this one bit. It's too childish, and it only further pushes Thomas into being a more babyish show than it really is. I understand this is meant to appeal towards kids, but like, kids who've grown up seeing the CGI render of Thomas, or even the model series for all I know, won't latch on to the new 2D style Thomas very well. This sudden unprepared change will make it harder for kids to connect with. because that isn't Thomas to them. I've forgiven Mattel for Journey Beyond Sodor. I even enjoyed it in a couple areas. I've even forgiven them for Big World Big Adventures, because despite it being what it is, I've still found some salvageable things to take from that. But this? I cannot forgive them for this one bit. There's barely anything to like about this. They've caused a lot of irreparable damage to one of my childhood favorite icons, and I will not be watching or supporting anything relating to this new reboot anytime soon. Now, with all that said and done, I would like to end this on a positive note and address the question: what should we as a fandom do about this? The answer? Keep doing what you love doing. Enjoy the things that made you love Thomas in the first place, and keep creating what you love with it. Do whatever you want with Thomas in your own vision. There's so many wonderful and talented fans who've made countless good material for you to enjoy, and there will continue to be in the foreseeable future. Hell, you could even be one of them. Despite what changes Thomas will go through, the real Thomas, our Thomas, will never change in our hearts. It will always be here in our minds, hearts, and souls. And as cheesy as that may sound, it's true. Your Thomas is what you make it out to be. So make it a good one. Oh yeah, and whatever you do, I beg of you, do not harass the people who work on the reboot under any circumstances. This behavior is not okay and will make you no better than the ones responsible for the changes in the first place. The Star Wars fandom is a good example of this. Now, before I end this video, there's one more thing I would like to address. Will I ever continue making Thomas stuff even after the reboot was announced? As a matter of fact, yes. I do still have plans to produce a few videos relating to my own Thomas series, but who knows when I'll ever get around to finishing them. If I do, I might make a few minor adjustments, because despite the horrible reboot that was announced, there is still at least one or two things I want to take from that and carry over to my canon. But I've said enough at this point. Tomorrow is my birthday. I'm turning 22 this year, and things will only go up from here. At least I hope they will. But until then, this is Diesel202 signing out. Goodbye, everybody's.